things on the other side of the field when the game begins.
They go play action here on first down. Complete to Stewart. He will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And this is up and good to make it 7-0 Cowboys. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
This is Jonathan Stewart, and he is going to be knocked flat on his back. Oh, a big hit right around the 26. They keep it on the ground again to Stewart, and he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
That goes down as a loss against his rushing stats. But really, should he have to absorb that one? He had no chance on that play before they overwhelmed him.
Pretty much on top of him before he could take his first step. Throwing on 3rd down, Newton. And he will go down. A Cowboy sack. Jamarcus Lawrence able to get him down for a loss of 11 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Is the distance on the punt there, and the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Now the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott, and he'll push this forward only to about the 42-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9, the defense looking to put them in a bad spot here. They go to Elliott again. Shoves him aside. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard. They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Able to slither by. And he'll be taken down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That's good for 21 yards and a 1st down. A 1st down carry by Elliott. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 28 yards. And the Cowboys will extend their lead.
Gardner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Now Bailey to tack on the extra point. They'll need to get the play off quickly. And it's good to make it 14-0. So that drive, 4 plays. And it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. Bailey now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Panthers offense here, they get ready to head back on the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. To throw on 2nd down is Newton. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete. The intended target that time was Jonathan Stewart. And it's 3rd down.
That one didn't quite make it to the target, but that's not always a function of the strength of the arm of the quarterback, is it? Sometimes there's just too much pressure there. In any case, the ball doesn't arrive.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. David Irving able to drop it for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down.
Well, the beauty of screen passes is they take a little time to develop, and they can often hit big, but sometimes they take too long to develop, and sometimes you get sacked.
Yeah, what's perfectly called for a defense to attack a screen?
Typically a blitz, and even though people think that the screen operates against the blitz, if you have the blitz called and you still cover the screen, now that allows your blitzers to get there.
Away. Here's Beasley. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. Elliott. And shedding through the tackle. Touchdown, Cowboys! Ezekiel Elliott with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
And it is now 21-0. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. Bailey now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half. Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either. They were looking to get it to Kelvin Benjamin there. And it's second down. Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner? Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. On 2nd and 10, Newton toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Let's face it, if you want to get back into the game, these are the kind of throws you got to hit. He's wide open right there. Got to be able to get it to him, don't you think? And those are the throws that haven't been available to them every time he's dropped a pass. Yeah, that's a big miss. On 3rd down, Newton. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Tyrone Crawford in there to drop him for a loss of 10. And it'll be 4th and long. I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been on constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there. And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Oh, and now he bowls him over. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. And out now come the Cowboys. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. But he's on pace now for 12 rushing touchdowns, and I think he's making fantasy owners smile. I think you've got to change something on defense, don't you? I mean, we often talk about using a spy on a quarterback who has the ability to run and maneuver outside of the pocket. Maybe they need to change that to spying him, because this many touchdowns this early, that is demoralizing for a defense. One guy breaking them down. Bailey now to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. Typically down in the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they? Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right? Unfortunately. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience. Yeah. You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it. I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning. It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. It's a loss of 2. Tackle for loss, another tackle for loss. He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays. Newton. And they get to Newton and take him down for the sack. Jalen Smith with a big-time sack on 3rd down. And it'll be a loss of 7. The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again. Here's Michael Pilardi now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Here's Michael Pilardi now, standing just outside his own goal line. Beasley now to return. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And our focus shifts here to Alfred Morris. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. Des Bryant, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss him? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow incomplete?
Yeah.
What happened?
During film study, that's one where he's just going to shake his head, not be able to believe it.
6 points go by the wayside on that one. Help me out, partner. Was that incomplete?
That was on a deep ball to Dez.
And that's a surprise. The way he attacks the football in the air, it's always surprising to me when he doesn't complete a pass like that.
Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks. The numbers for Dak as a rookie last year are still kind of mind-boggling. And you look at QB rating. Dak was 104.9. Now, among full-time quarterbacks, only 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks, Matt Ryan and Tom Brady, were higher.
And look who he finished ahead of. Guys like Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees.
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on. There are several elements to a well-executed screen pass. This one resulted in a touchdown. It had all of those elements.
Yeah, you're so right because you really need the rush to almost get to the quarterback, almost get to the passer. Then you've got to get the ball thrown perfectly, whether it's to the running back, the wide receiver, wherever the screen guy is. And, of course, the blocking has to form in front to get him downfield for the touchdown.
A drive there of just 4 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Bailey now to kick this one away. And that one carries out of the side of the end zone here, so it's a touchback. And bring it out. Now onto the field, here come the Panthers. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack. Malik Collins, never giving up. He's able to keep working and get him for a loss of 12.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So now Cam leads the Panthers up following the sack. Carolina facing 3rd and long. Out of the gun, Newton. And this is going to be incomplete. He was out there waving his arms saying, throw it here, dropped it, not a good look.
Well, all I can do is just look at him with contempt on that one. As a defensive back, I'm saying, not as an announcer. Just like, really?
A little bit of a diva look, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, because I think what happens is he just had too much time to think. He's wide open now. Here comes the ball, and he doesn't concentrate and drops it.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's fielded at the 45.
Add on. Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. And the route is on here in this first half. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Getting set to go again, we get a peek at Kelvin Benjamin as he heads back out there now. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football.
Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
On second down, they run with Stewart. And he loses the football a second time. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it won't count for 6. He's brought down, but inside the 5. First and goal at the 4-yard line. And for how much Cam handles the football, he really doesn't fumble a whole lot, but coughed it up there.
And I know that a lot of people seeing that play, they immediately go back to the Super Bowl against Denver and Von Miller knocking it free from Cam. But I think you're exactly right. One of the underrated.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott taking it in from 4 yards out. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just one shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
A nice, tidy little drive there, getting the ball in excellent field position, and only one play to score it. Bailey now to kick this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And the attention now shifts to Kelvin Benjamin. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's two sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit, but that means you got to find a way to beat that defense and make sure one of your top playmakers touches the football and has an impact on the game. Change formations, change where he lines up, put him in motion, anything possible to shake him free.
Maybe that greater impact comes here on this drive. Three yards to go here on second down. Newton turns and hands to Stewart. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It'll be a loss of 1. And just like that, it's third down. The Panthers on third down. They're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. He can run for it, and he will. And not much of an opening there, as he's only going to get this to about the 32. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
I think you're right, partner. Taking it about the 36. Oh, what a move. Oh, he sheds himself free. Wow, incredible. Bye-bye, Beasley. Touchdown! Cowboys! Cole Beasley with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Cowboys add on.
Well, if you're into cheesy movies, you would title this one A Half to Remember, wouldn't you? His second return touchdown of the game.
What if I'm not into cheesy movies?
Well, go ahead and get into it, man, because I just did it, and you're going to green light that one. How about those returns? Maybe they ought to think about not kicking in the ball.
Yeah, they might want to go away from him in the future. So his big play capability in full display there as he's able to return that punt for a touchdown. So after surrendering the punt return for a score, let's see what they can do in turn on this kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go again, we get a peek at Kelvin Benjamin as he heads back out there now. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. On the catch, this is Russell Shepard. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Here's Newton. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. But call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. On second down, here's Newton. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Newton to throw. And that is incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of the story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what did you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. It'll be just an 18-yard punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. He's already cruised past the 100-yard mark. We haven't even gone away for halftime yet.
He might not want halftime. All right, why cool off?
Keep everybody here.
Let's stay out on the field and keep going. But all that being said, everything is really working well for them. The play calling's been excellent. The blocking's been terrific. And obviously his vision and legs have hurdled him to this big number so far. We could be seeing something really special here.
And we'll see how much they give him the ball here. A good pickup there at 22.
Now, those are the ones that hurt defensively. You do everything right. Excellent pressure, good coverage downfield, and then he slips out the back door and turns it into a nice gain.
They'll try the right side with Elliott. And, a little spin cycle. Room to run now. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And that is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining.
Partner, that type of a lead, and they're going to fake it from the 15 to try. Come on, don't do that.
Put that in mothballs.
Yeah, preserve that for it. That's an ancient relic. Faking it. I can understand you want to rub it in a little. You fake it when he snapped it from the 3, but from the 15, mothball that bad boy, just like my grandmother had.
Yeah,
in her attic, the stuff she used to preserve.
It smells terrible. And now we'll get a late timeout as it comes in the waning moments of quarter number 2. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. And now a timeout defensively after that first down play. So they're going to make this offense sweat out half number 1. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Encroachment, defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that's... Larry, go back to the green room, my friend. These guys are ready to go again. So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. This is taken at his 4. And he's got room. There he goes, right side. And he finally runs out of gas, but not before he's inside the 10-yard line.
Similar to golf, you never want to count a score before it actually happens, but you have to figure. They thought they were going to get 6 on that play. Great effort to keep them out of the end zone, but a big-time return.
And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. Here's Prescott. Dancing to his left. And he's going to get into the end zone. So the fake spike works, and they score. Dak Prescott, his second touchdown of the night. And the Cowboys add on. Here's Bailey now for the extra point.
He didn't originally want to run, but he didn't see anything in the passing game, so he scrambled. And wouldn't you know it, he scores a touchdown anyway. It's awfully nice to have a quarterback who can make things happen with his legs.
And he will not make it to the goal line as his try for 2 is going to come up empty. But that's little consolation to this defense as they have been porous all game long. Bailey now to kick this one away. Short kick. One of the up middle take it now. And they'll be set up with good field position here as he gets this up over the 40-yard line.
We all know that teams never want to use the word panic, but if they expect to win this game, it has to start right here, right now. That return just set them up for points, and it needs to be a touchdown, not a field goal.
Looking to get the ground game going with Stewart. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12.
Brandon, that play typifies what we've seen from the offense all day long. They've had no success getting things going. I think for the offensive coordinator, he's got to go to that side of the play sheet that says, try something different. Try some specials, something they haven't seen all day to try and get this offense kick-started.
Newton now to throw. Incomplete.
The effort's always going to be there. Everyone's always going to try and make a catch, but underthrown balls, I think, are the toughest ones to come back and get because usually your momentum's going in the opposite direction when you're trying to stop, break, and come back and get it.
The Panthers on 3rd down. It has been a disaster. 0 for 8 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. From the gun, here's Newton. And he will go down. A Cowboy sack. Jalen Smith in there to get him for his 2nd sack of the night.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. That's pulled in at the 32. So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And that will come the offense as they take over. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. A handoff left, Elliott. And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. My word, it'll be nothing short of a monstrous loss on the play, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and about a mile here.
But you got to understand, this is not laughing at him. But this play, I don't even know how to describe it. You're talking about a running play. And we're always taught as runners to get north and south, get upfield as fast as possible. Well, this was east, then west, then east and west, and I don't even know what you do. At some point, you're hoping maybe you fall down and save some of this yardage. Keeps fighting and trying to make it work. Blocking breakdown. I'd have to say a play call breakdown because it ran into the worst possible defense they could face. And you end up with that kind of loss of yardage. I've got nothing else.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Back near his goal line, it's Prescott. Going deep here for Bryant. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is down deep into Carolina territory. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It'll wind up being a huge loss on the play, and that'll bring up a 2nd and goal. They'll try again with Elliott. Oh, he shifts past him. Still going. Zeke with a shake and bake. Give him 28 yards on that one. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
Well, that's a pretty familiar sight because Ezekiel Elliott in 2016, his rookie year, had 14 runs of 20 yards or more. That led the NFL.
And he said in the offseason he wanted to be better when he got into the second level, so he's shooting high.
I like that. I like a guy who wants to get better at his craft. Look out, defenses.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 4 yards, that gets him close to the goal line, but it also brings up a 4th and goal. They run for it with Morris. And he didn't get there. Knocked backwards to the 2-yard line. Alfred Morris could not bowl his way in. And the Panthers defense able to deliver the goal line stand. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
Back now in Arlington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
3rd down, here's McCaffrey. And he's able to get this one up to the 8-yard line this time. He's able to chew up 8 yards.
On offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Fielded at the 43. Breaks through the contact. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. Cole Beasley, 43 yards. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Newton on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete. The tight end, Ed Dixon, was the target, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back to the air, Newton on 2nd down. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Tyrone Crawford in there to get him again. The 3rd time he sacked him here tonight.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Back to throw, Newton. Got a man right side, it's McCaffrey. They'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down. They couldn't get anything going there out on the right side of the flat of the swing pass.
And didn't we have a discussion with their staff about wanting to get the backs more involved in the passing game? Huge emphasis for this game, but obviously the defense had other plans and really made a nice play.
Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Take it at the 37. A great return there of 22 yards. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. And we have seen a decline in the numbers. Where does the fault lie? Just him? Maybe the guys up front? Combination?
Well, as you and I both know, it's almost always a collective deal. But in this case, I think maybe the offensive line got a little overconfident. They had blocked so well in the first half, picked up on what the defense was doing. I think we've seen an adjustment now that they have not picked up on, and now they're being a little bit overwhelmed.
They'll try the sweep with Elliott. And he's got some space here. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. They keep on the ground with Elliott, pushing through the contact. And he'll fall forward to the 29-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Again, it's Elliott. And some room to roam now. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
On the counter, Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long. Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Bryant, the lone receiver, left. Prescott to throw it. Forced out to his left. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
Exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the virtual guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up. Partner, they're up big. They snapped the ball from the 15 for a regular PAT, yet they fake it and get it. Is the kicker's leg tired? What's going on?
Down the numbers. There he goes. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical. It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. 2nd and 10, Newton again. Cam fighting. He lost the football. It's out. And the Cowboys have recovered.
Well, partner, I think it's safe to say they can mark this down as extremely frustrating. Here we are in the fourth quarter, and that last play, that turnover, I think it epitomizes what happened to them all day on offense.
So symbolic, and that's why they're still being shut out. Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. And now running right through it. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break